Hello everybody, thank you for joining us for another story time this week. We are going to be reading a story today all about a child who loves going out and exploring in nature to see what he or she can find. At Happy Dancing Turtle, we really encourage kids to get outside. It's super good for you physically, mentally, emotionally to spend a lot of time outdoors in nature. And while you're out there, if you use all your senses, you can find some pretty cool things. So we can look for things in nature. We can listen. I hear a lot of nature sounds right now. We can smell things in nature. We can feel things in nature. Make sure it's safe to touch. And sometimes, if we're really lucky, we can even taste things in nature. Right now, there's a ton of wild raspberries out in my yard, and I'm about to go pick some after this story. But make sure before you taste anything in nature that an adult tells you it's okay to do so. Some stuff can make us really sick. But our story today, like I said, is all about getting out and exploring. So it's called A Fawn in the Grass. It was written by Joann Ryder and illustrated by Kiko Narahashi. And let's see what they find in this book. Keep in mind, you don't have to go far to explore in nature. You might just take a stroll in your yard, maybe around your block if you don't have a yard of your own, maybe in a local park, and there's going to be really cool things to find there. There's a fawn in the grass, watching me as I pass. I am silent and slow as it watches me go. There's a trail on a leaf. How many of you have ever seen a trail like that on a leaf? What do you think made that trail? So lots of times what we observe in nature leads to a lot of questions that we can ask and find answers to, and that's how we learn about nature and we learn new things. And a snail underneath. There are treasures to see hiding all around me. Those tiny flowers might easily be overlooked if you're not looking really close. There's a nose in a hole. Whose nose do you think that is? And the nose is a mole. There's a speck in the sky. What is it? As a hawk circles high. There's a lizard who creeps past another who sleeps. I see more things each day as new friends come my way. So the more and more you spend, the more time you spend outside, the more time you spend observing, you really will start to notice more and more things that you've never seen before, which is really cool. There's a worm on a string who's swaying in space. There's a white butterfly on a circle of lace. There's a squirrel who clings to the side of a tree, and there's a flash of a jay. And the buzz of a bee. There's a blur and a whir. What's blurring and whirring? As two hummingbirds race. There's a smile on my face as I peek, as I pass. There's a fawn in the grass. So this is what inspired this author to write this story. It says, The Fawn in Our Grass. One spring night, a doe leaped over our fence and gave birth to a fawn in our yard. The doe left each morning, but the fawn would stay, hidden in the grass, unless it moved or squeaked. It was hard to find, and we let the grass grow tall so it could hide safely. The fawn stayed in our yard for several weeks until one day it left with its mother. I loved walking outside and seeing the tiny fawn, and I wrote this book while it was living nearby. Can you find the fawn in the picture below? It's hard to see. So we call that, I don't know, maybe you can't even see it on the computer. It's right here in the middle. We call that really good camouflage when something blends in with its surroundings. And that's why fawns have those spots on their back. Let's flip back a page. You can see that mom doesn't have any spots, but baby has spots. And that helps break up their pattern, and it helps them blend in with speckles of sunlight that might be in the grass or in the forest where these fawns live when they're little, which is pretty cool. So please, please, please get outside, be exploring. Like I said, you don't have to go far to explore. If you don't have a lot of space, look for really little things like that trail from the snail on the leaf, or maybe certain bugs or spider webs or paths in the dirt. There's tons of small things you can find in a small amount of space. Or take a trip to a local park. We have lots of public land around us that we can go on to for nature walks and to go explore in the woods. And if you need any suggestions about places near you, please, please, please reach out to us, and we will be happy to help you find those resources. We hope you have fun exploring, and we'll see you next week for another story. Bye.